So with 80 acres of Canyon Park, and also with Hillside Wilderness Preserve measuring up to over 1,300 acres, there's quite a few different things that help support Canyon Park and Hillside Wilderness Preserve. And I couldn't go through this presentation without mentioning some of the wonderful people that help support our natural resources, our hiking trails, our programs here in Canyon Park, and that would be our Canyon Park volunteers. What's really exciting about the year 2020, although we were in a pandemic and we did have to suffer through the Bobcat fire, our volunteers, our Canyon Park volunteers, were a great resource for us. They were always out here doing whatever they could, either recovering our trails or helping with our COVID protocols for the hiking programs that we had for a short period of time. And they did so many things with our virtual programs and our in-person programs before COVID. With all this combined and the level of customer service they gave, they actually won an award for our California Parks and Recreations Society annual award for Champions of the Community.
I work with the ed tours that we do. All of the elementary school children and Monrovia Unified get to come to the park.
Teach third graders and fourth graders about Native American people as well as the plant life and that kind of thing.
Answering a lot of questions. Everybody always has some kind of question about the animals or other things related to the park.
We've worked on every inch of the trail one time or another, and sometimes just to make sure the trail is clean.
We do like ground maintenance, landscaping, lopping.
More recently, we've been trying to rehabilitate the trails.
Meaning that we're cleaning all the trails in the area, getting rid of the poison oak, making sure we have water diverters and steps that are all, everything's safe. And looking good so that people can enjoy this beautiful park that we have here.
The reason why I've been here for 10 years or so is because we have a great team. And I actually looking forward every time when I come in. And we know that we are doing the community some good. Because in the past we have been benefited from other volunteers, and now we're retired. We feel like we should give some back to the community, and hopefully would induce other people to join to give to their community as well.
I would describe it as a beautiful shady place.
Families can come up and picnic, go up to see the beautiful falls, and it runs all year round.
It's just an opportunity to get out and enjoy nature so close to a major city.
This is probably the nicest park of its type in the San Gabriel Valley.
It's really peaceful.
It's just a chunk of nature that you can reach easily.
And it must be one of the cleanest park in all the areas I have been.
It's just beautiful up here. You won't believe that this wilderness lives right outside your back door.
Really pretty. There's a bunch of birds, a bunch of animals, and I think it'll stay that way for a while.
Because this is a gem.
you know, it's the outdoors. It's where you want to be.
We've won different awards in the past, especially our volunteers for our district, which is District 13. But this year we actually won a state award, which was a really, really high recognition. And we can be so much more proud of them. Some of the things they do in Canyon Park are on some of the very little levels that I can even talk about, because they do so much on top of what I'm about to speak of, is first the customer service. You'll see our volunteers out on trail, cleaning the trails, picking up trash from the trails, helping people with information while they're on trails in our nature center. They're a wealth of knowledge, and they have so much institutional knowledge about the area and the science and the geology and the ecosystems, and they're ready to just explain and just help people with either newcomers or people that have been coming here for a long time. They help with a lot of our social media when it comes to information. We're just revamping our Instagram, so they're doing a lot of work to help us revamp our Instagram and get the information out of what's happening right now in Canyon Park. Trails, I mean, I could say that we have about 2.5 miles of trails here in Canyon Park, and we have about 3.5 miles in Hillside Wilderness Preserve. And they're out there 3 days a week with a group of guys and gals, and they're just working every day to maintain and repair our trails to make it safe and hikeable, and keeping it very visible so we can keep a lot of our hazardous poison oak and rattlesnakes and ticks off of our trails. So although we don't see them directly at all times, indirectly they're doing so much more for our community, just helping out with our trails. When we had our education program, our volunteers helped develop our kindergarten through 5th grade programs for our Monrovia Unified School District field trips. And this was a great program that helped not only just us helping our future youth understand about our park and natural resources, but they also helped with working on a partnership with the Monrovia Unified School District and helping them keep in line with their standard core curriculum. Not only do they serve also our Monrovia Unified School District, they also do out-of-school districts too, modifying our tours for trout in the program, modifying our tours for geology programs. So they do so much for our community, also directly and indirectly with our trails and education programs. But on top of that, on top of our education tours, whatever programs we have, whether it's our family hiking camp program that we do in the summer, our Kids Crafts in the Canyon that we do at the end of the month on Sundays, or our community interpretive hikes. Canyon Park staff is really busy with customer service and redirecting traffic and customers on the weekends. It really doesn't allow us to do community program hikes on the weekends, and our volunteers, that's where they come in and really help and step in and lead those programs for us. So with all that and so much more that they do on top of that, with helping out on our nature center, helping out with our live animal displays, and the list goes on and on. We could not do this without the help of our Canyon Park volunteers. So we're very, very excited that they were finally recognized for our community award for the champions of the community, and for the California Parks and Recreation Society to honor them with that esteemed recognition. Last but not least, we have a really new great foundation that's revamping for our Hillside Wilderness Preserve in Canyon Park. It's called MPWR. We like to say Empower. It's the Monrovia Parks and Wilderness Recreation Foundation. Before in the past it was Monrovia's Wilderness Preserve Foundation, but they recently revamped it and rewrote it to do a 501c3 to help support all of recreation in Canyon Park, whether it's our programs, our facilities, our picnic grounds, our playgrounds, our natural areas as HWP, Hillside Wilderness Preserve, or Canyon Park. They're a wonderful organization. And they are there specifically to help fundraise money and volunteers for our area, for our program, for community services. And there's a lot of different ways you can directly donate to their website, or you can sign up as a volunteer with them. And there's a lot of different ways to get involved. They're always looking for new board members or members to support them. So check out Monrovia Parks and Wilderness Recreation Foundation on their website, They also have an Instagram on social media, so they're a great resource, and we're really glad to partner with them, and we're excited to see what we're going to see from them in the future. Thank you very much. That's pretty much the end of my presentation, but you can always reach me at the community center or at Monrovia Canyon Park. So reach out, and if you're interested in any of these things, whether it's a Canyon Park volunteer, Empower volunteer, how to donate, how to support us going into 2021, we're here, and we're here for you. So thank you for joining us, and have a great rest of the conference.
Hi there, my name is Giangelo Leos. I am a Monrovia Community Services Commissioner and a member of the Garden Leadership Team here at Monrovia Community Garden. Our community garden is a partnership between the City of Monrovia and Mountainside Communion, located at 303 West Colorado. Founded in 2019, the garden exists to provide a space of community building and education through gardening. We strive to grow not only flowers, fruits, and vegetables, but in learning about sustainability and what will help our community lead our healthiest lives together as neighbors. The garden is home to 21 raised beds that are available to rent for members of the community, some of which are ADA accessible. The corner of the garden hosts 8 larger beds that are open for public education, where anyone in the community can come and pick herbs and vegetables when they're ready at your convenience. As a reminder, the beds on the corner are open for public utility, but the beds behind the fences are privately rented by households in the community. We're entering the spring planting season, and we've cleared these beds to plant new seasonal veggies, so keep an eye out in this space for tomatoes, peppers, basil, carrots, and more through the spring and summer. Under the leadership of Dr. Kristen Ritza, who is the Executive Director of Food Exploration and Discovery, a nonprofit working in Monrovia and the larger San Gabriel Valley, the community garden also runs free gardening workshops throughout the year, led by our award-winning garden leadership team. And while staying at home in 2020, our volunteers created online tutorials with over 10,000 views. Even though we couldn't come together physically in the garden, we still grew an estimated 650 pounds of produce in 2020 that fed Monrovians. In addition, our community compost bins that are open 24/7 for food scraps diverted 3.5 tons of waste from landfill. This nutrient-rich compost that we created has gone back into the garden beds and is helping grow more food in 2021 for more Monrovians. If you're interested in getting on the waitlist for a plot or to volunteer at the garden, you can email us at info@monroviacommunitygarden.org. And follow us on social media at Monrovia Community Garden on Facebook and Instagram. Oh, and don't forget to sign up for our Spring Veggie and Wise Watering virtual Zoom workshop on Saturday, April 24th from 10 to 11:30 a.m. Now, without further ado, I'd like to turn it over to Monrovia's favorite master gardener, Judy Gomez, who's going to share which milkweed we should be growing at home in Monrovia and which we should reconsider and begin caring for differently to support monarch butterflies and other garden pollinators. Thank you, everyone, and see you in the garden.
Hi, everyone. I'm Judy. I'm a Los Angeles County Master Gardener and a California naturalist, and I'm talking to you today from Monrovia, California in the San Gabriel Valley. We're going to talk a little bit about monarchs and milkweed, but we're going to talk mostly about the milkweed, that I thought I was doing a really good thing by planting a lot of milkweed in my yard. Perhaps that's not really true. I'm going to start out with a story about a friend of mine who texted me a picture of what he called a big fat striped worm and said, "Judy, what is this? It's eating all my plants." And I didn't know what it was. So I looked it up. I Googled big fat striped worm, and up came a beautiful picture of a monarch caterpillar. And I wrote him back right away and said, "Oh my gosh, you're so lucky to have those in your yard. Just stop and observe." And he said, "Well, too bad. I already killed them." So I felt really badly about that, and I needed to learn more, and I needed to learn more about how I could help save the monarchs. So before we get to talking about milkweed, let's just review the life cycle real briefly of a monarch butterfly. This is a picture of a butterfly, monarch butterfly in my yard. Remember that the female monarch butterfly lays its eggs only on milkweed. So that's a picture of the milkweed plant in my backyard, commonly called tropical milkweed. And notice that it blooms with yellow, orange, and red flowers, mostly all year round here in Southern California. This next picture is the picture of the beautiful caterpillar, or the big striped worm, that hatches from the eggs laid by the female. And we know that monarch caterpillars only eat milkweed. And these pictures are from my daughter's tree, where this caterpillar, next picture, decided to get in its J shape, meaning it's getting ready to form its chrysalis. And note that it's moved away from the milkweed, and now it is on the leaf of a kumquat. So the last picture shows the chrysalis, and very soon that will hatch and become, not really hatch, open up and form a new beautiful monarch butterfly. So am I helping or harming monarch butterflies by growing this milkweed in my yard? Actually, I didn't plant this by going to a nursery and buying it. I actually got seeds from a friend and planted it, and look at all the rest of the seeds that are coming out. These they get moved by the wind. Look at them all. They could plant, they could grow right here. Bees love this, pollinators heaven here. But the seeds are really easy to grow. And when I harvest the seeds, I planted them and gave them away to friends. So I was actually giving all sorts of tropical milkweed to people. I even sent away to one of the seed catalogs and got some, they call this butterfly weed, but it's actually tropical milkweed also, because I didn't know any better. So what is the issue with milkweed? Actually, it might interrupt the migration pattern of the monarchs, and the migration of monarchs is very important to their long-term survival. And it's changing the egg-laying timing of the monarch butterflies, because it's readily available all year round. So it's throwing things off in nature. The other thing it's doing is that it's contributing to the increase of a parasite called OE, just the letters O and E, because I cannot pronounce the word. And basically what this does, it infects the wings and the bodies of the adult monarch butterflies, and then it spreads to their caterpillars, which then affects numerous generations, and it's causing deformities and death in monarchs. And that's because also tropical milkweed helps that process happen, which is not a good process. So actually, what can I do? I need to, if I'm going to continue to grow this kind of milkweed in my yard, I need to cut it back about 6 inches by Halloween, because we need to make it act like a native milkweed, which does die back in the wintertime. So about 6 inches, I'm actually going to take this like this, and I'm going to cut all these off somewhere close to Halloween. It's easy for me to remember Halloween because the monarchs are such beautiful Halloween colors. And we're actually just going to get rid of that or compost that. And the very best solution, though, is to plant natives. Now, this is a native milkweed. It is from the Theodore Payne Foundation Nursery, which is out in Sun Valley, about a half an hour from here. It's called a narrow leaf milkweed, and you can see the difference in the size of the, well, maybe, can you see the difference in the size of the leaves? Yes, but it is a California native. It's getting ready to die back because it's going to go dormant in the winter. I don't have to cut this back. If I grow this milkweed, I have to cut it back so that it doesn't have flowers during that time of the year. It'll rebloom in the spring. That's what you want it to do. So we went out and got these beautiful native milkweeds. I also then got some seeds out there. So this is a showy milkweed. They basically helped us at Theodore Payne find the kinds that would grow here. This is a narrow leaf milkweed, the one I have back there, and this is the Cotolo milkweed. We're supposed to plant these in the spring. They give you all the instructions on how to plant. There's a lot of seeds in these packets, so I think we're going to have a good time spreading the word about California native milkweed and growing them. So actually, in summary, a call to action is, if you're growing this beautiful tropical milkweed, please cut it back about 6 inches, right around Halloween time, early November at the latest. and make the effort to go out and find some native milkweed that is really, really what the monarchs need. Thank you all so much. Call to action, go Monarchs.